Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody's having a great week. I hope you're prepared for the weekend. Whatever it is that you plan on doing for the weekend, I hope that you're ready to get into it. Hope that many of the things that you set out to do over the course of the week you got done, that you had a successful week. But remember what I always tell you, that even in those moments where you had setbacks, you had some frustrations, you experienced delay, just remember that if you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. Don't allow yourself to get caught up so much in what didn't happen that you can't see beyond the moment. Don't allow the circumstances and situations that are temporal to take you away from the vision of what's to come, because it's the focusing on the vision, the fixing on the vision, the commitment to the vision that's going to determine just how far you're able to go. It isn't all the things that people think it is. It's not how much money you have. It's not how educated you are. It's not how many connections you have. It's not how great your plan is. Don't get me wrong. All of those things are great to have and be on the top of your game in. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the distance you are willing to go. What is the distance you're willing to go? How committed are you to finishing what you start? Look, it's Focus Friday. I'm going to get in and I'm going to get out. I'm going to let you have your day. But I want to remind you that this is about commitment. Change should be something that's intentional, because it's going to happen one way or another. Life is constantly progressing, situations are evolving, and it's going to be up to you how you move in this, how you operate in this, where you come out at. And so it's up to you to take action. Focus Friday. And I'm not going to be long. I'm going to be real brief in this, but I want to let you know, as usual, that there are some opportunities to work with me, some great offers in the description box, in the post box, wherever you're watching that at, where the written content is. There's that. There's also an opportunity for you guys to join Legacy Wealth, which is a 6-month training program on building and developing generational wealth. It's no sales about investments. Nobody's going to ask you to invest in anything. And you get a lifetime membership to Epic Realm. It's an unbelievable opportunity to start learning. You can't do something you don't understand. But what I can tell you is it's possible, from no regardless from where you're starting. I know I'll tell you some stories at some point in time once you get in. But look, Focused Friday. Instead of talking about what to focus on today, I want to tell you what you don't want to focus on. Stop focusing on your pain and what caused it. Am I saying ignore your pain? No, I said stop focusing on it. It's a difference. When you focus, whatever you focus on, you feel. So whatever you focus on, you point your energy to, you give your energy to. Whatever you point your energy toward and give your energy to and focus on, you feel. Now, so when you focus on your pain, you begin to identify with your pain. If you're not careful, focusing on your pain will cause you to identify your pain, and you will literally transform a temporal or temporary painful situation into a long-term suffering reality. I tell people all the time, pain is inevitable. You're not going to circumvent the challenges of life that bring pain. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Suffering is a decision to focus so intensely on the pain and who caused it or what caused it, that you start to identify with the pain. And before you know it, you become a victim. And now what you've done is you've given power to doubt. And when you give power to doubt, you start to doubt your power. So what happens? You sit up and you look up, and now you're in a situation and you start to believe there's no way to overcome it. There's no way to come out of it. There's no way to gain ground. But the truth of the matter is, you're never trapped. You're never stuck. You're never in a situation that you can't come out of. What you've got to learn to do is understand there are different points and perspectives that you need to be aware of at any time. You need to be aware of the temporal moments. You need to be aware of it. You're not in denial. You're aware of it, but you can't give focus to it, because the more you focus on it, the more powerful it becomes. The reason so many people are frustrated is because they're focusing on the problem and not the solution. They're focusing on the pain and not the healing. They're focusing on what is making them uncomfortable, and that is stopping them from progressing. Let me tell you again, stop focusing on the pain. Start focusing on the outcome. Start focusing on what you're going to accomplish. Understand that if it's happening in your life, that it has a positive purpose. If you view it correctly, there are going to be storms. There are going to be difficulties. That anybody that knows me knows this year has been unbelievably painful. I've experienced loss multiple times. Uh, I'm not real big with talking and putting personal stuff out. I don't play the victim role, but I let people know when I need prayer. Those who really follow me know some of the things that I've dealt with, not the details because that's personal. But what I can tell you is I've experienced loss. I've gone through it again this week. But what I can tell you is this, that I know that my life has purpose. And I know that if I keep breathing, I'm going to come out of the storm. And if I give power to it, I'm going to come out of the storm better than when I went in. That's my responsibility as a man. That's my responsibility as a leader. That's my responsibility as a part of and leader in my family, is that I allow myself to be shaped by the pain, but not dominated by it, shaped by the storm, but not controlled by it. I have a purpose in this. I'm growing. I'm getting stronger. I'm becoming wiser. I'm advancing. I'm building something. And anything worth having comes with challenge. Anything worth holding on for comes with challenge. Everything that is worthy of seeking comes with a challenge and a process that you've got to be willing to move through. The problem is that most of us are balking at the process. Most of us are retreating from the challenge. And then when we find ourselves backed into the corner, and we still deal with loss, we still deal with pain, we still deal with betrayal, we still deal with frustration, we still deal with setbacks and delay. We still go through all these things that everybody must go through. Nobody circumvents the vicissitudes and challenges and disruptions of life. Nobody gets to do that. So then who are the ones who win? The ones who win are the ones who sit up and say, I won't quit. I tell people all the time, people talk about, well, Doc, you've got X amount of degrees. Doc, you started X amount of companies. Doc, you've written X amount of books. Doc, let me tell you something. When I started this thing, I was coming out of a situation where I didn't know my father. He passed away when I was 14, never met him. Saw him for the first time at his funeral. A 15-year-old mother. She was 15 when she had me, reared by my great grandparents in the middle of poverty. Even though they weren't necessarily poor, the entire community around me was. I didn't see anything beyond what my parents did. So I didn't start with everything set. What I had was this relentless mindset. My one word that describes my success is relentless. I won't quit. No surrender, no retreat. If you go with me and I'm speaking anywhere where I've stepped on stage and spoke before, and if it's people there that were there the first time I came, they're going to start shouting before I get to the podium, before I grab the mic. No surrender, no retreat. Why? Because it's so ingrained and rooted in my message. No surrender, no retreat. I will not turn back. I will not give up. I will not let go. I will not allow any moment in my life to shake me so loose that I let go of my vision, that I let go of my purpose, that I let go of my dream, that I let go of what God put me here to do. Now, let me tell you something, that I'm going to be done with this today. A lot of you are experiencing pain, and you're frustrated and you're hurt and you think you've been abandoned. You're looking up and saying, why? You think God has left you. You prayed to remove it. There's a the verse where Paul says, I prayed 3 times that it be removed, and God refused, but he says, that's okay. My grace is sufficient. My strength is made perfect, complete in your weakness. And even so he says, that's therefore when I'm weak, I'm strong. And what is it? There's no time when you don't have what it takes to get through the storm. But let me tell you something, when you start trying to retreat from it, when you start trying to get around it, you take away the force of your own power and you give your power to the pain. Stop focusing on the pain. Stop allowing the pain to be the controlling factor. There's something you got to get in your mindset that, hey, look, if it does not kill me, it makes me stronger. It makes me more alert. It makes me more caring and understanding and tolerant of others, because I can understand what it feels like to go through these things. I have to have a complete development of self in order to be fully prepared. Let me tell you something here, and then I'll be done. A bunch of you are frustrated. You've been praying, you've been asking God to take you out of it, and you feel like you've been betrayed and let down, because you see, but here's the problem. Some of you are in situations that represent the very purpose of your being. God is never going to deliver you from the giants he sent you to slay. That's the prayer that won't be answered in the way that you want it to. You're never going to be able to pray and say, take me out, when you were meant to be there, because that, in overcoming that, in winning that war, you set many free. Let me tell you something. Every time I've gone through a storm and I thought I was on my own, I thought I was alone, I thought nobody knew, I thought nobody was watching, I found out that people were sitting there observing. And through my fortitude, through my relentlessness, through my unwillingness to quit, they saw God move. They saw what resilience produces. They saw what being relentless produces. They saw what being unwilling to quit. I tell people all the time, my superpower isn't my brain. My superpower isn't my ability to speak. Those are gifts that allow me to do what God designed me to do. But what guarantees the win is I don't quit. I'm relentless. I acknowledge the pain, but I do not give it power in my life to rule over me. I acknowledge disruptions, delay, disappointments. I acknowledge everything that I've experienced this year. But what I can tell you is it does not stop my purpose. It does not stop my destiny. It does not stop me from being all that I was designed to be. I'm built for this. And every time I go through something, I become stronger. And it's there for you to stop focusing on that pain. Stop giving it power. Acknowledge it, then release it. Focus on the outcome, focus on the healing, focus on the strengthening, focus on everything that's going to make you better. When you focus on something, you're giving it your energy, you're giving it the power from within. And if you're not careful, you will sink yourself in suffering, focusing on that pain. On that note, look, I'm going to leave it. Like I said, for those of you who are serious about doing something and changing, there are some opportunities to work with me in the description box. For those of you who really are serious about changing your situation and building generational wealth that you pass down to the next generation, you definitely want to enroll in the Legacy Wealth Program. The link for that is in there for you to learn more and to enroll. But whatever you do, don't give your power to your pain. On that note, I am out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day and an awesome weekend. I want to keep you lifted. I ask you to do the same for me. And on that note, I am out.